Welcome to a brand new episode of the Real Life Podcast, a member of the Nation network of podcasts and delivered by DoorDash.
Welcome to Real Life, everyone. What is going on right now?
I think that I'm in love with Matthew Kachuk.
Are you guys all drunk?
Wow. Episode, who the hell knows? Tyler Remchuk's in Vegas. Welcome to Nation Real Life. We've got the Canucks CanucksArmy, Canucks Everything crew here. David Quadrelli, Chris Faber, Quads or Faves as we like to call them. This is, like I said, episode, what do we think? 385?
Ish, I wouldn't be wrong.
Brought to you by our dear friends at the HCA Group. I use them for all of our professional services. Wanya uses them for professional services.
Everything.
You use them for professional services. I use them for design. They're currently designing our podcast media sales kit.
Wow.
Just so you know, I just tasked them with that this week. They've got great skills. They're helping us here at the Nation Network. Tyler Remchuk's avoiding the grind in Vegas. So here we are. We got Waz.
Yes.
Because we have so many people in the studio, I had to take his cord to his mic. So we don't have a producer or a host. So we're doing this really, really Lord of the Flies style.
My first time.
And you're doing well. I think as a listener of this podcast, you're doing a fine job.
Excellent. Well, thank you. So we've got Quads and Fabes here. Came up yesterday from Vancouver. Wanted to throw them into the mixer of the podcast. We're videoing this portion, so it's the three of us on camera. So we'll clip that up. But I guess Quads and Faber, you've been here for 18 hours. Tell us about your experience in Edmonton and tell us about what's going on at CanucksArmy.
So it's cold, but it's not as cold as everybody made it out to be. Like, I was fine. I had to wait outside the cab because there was problems with our payment for some reason. The Nation Network credit card bounced, by the way. But
great.
We were waiting in the cold and
brand.
my neck got cold because it wasn't covered. And I realized if you just cover yourself up, you're not going to get cold. So I was fine.
There you go.
I just had to cover up. It was not as bad as everybody makes it out to be.
Wait, you got to wear clothes to not be cold?
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to in Vancouver. Nobody wears clothes in Vancouver. I'm telling you.
It was like the best time for masks because it's like that actually like makes a huge difference. I'm sure you guys have like realized that over the past like 2 years, but wearing masks outside is so much better for that.
Especially when I was at the Canada game in November.
Is Waz Mike? What the hell is going on?
It's so funny. Waz, I've
Waz
taken
Mike.
Waz's cord. He knows this, but he's
There's
talking
no
into his
cord.
microphone. He's
That
talking
it's connected to
his
nothing?
microphone. He's
Oh,
on it.
my.
I was gonna say I can't hear him.
And I'm like,
Oh,
Waz, I'm like,
no.
you don't have a cord. Why are you trying? And I completely had to rip his cord away. I totally blame Tyler Remchuk here. Nothing was connected. We had to find all the cords. I don't know if you've been in the studio before. It's Cordapalooza in a pretty
Yep.
tight, small office. Roadcaster performing well. We had to touch every single button on the Roadcaster to find the intro. Literally slid everything up and down we could, turned every knob, pushed every colored button. And finally, I think it was the last thing we touched, even though we touched it 400 times earlier. It finally kicked in.
I feel like your Remchuk being gone, this is like that moment where he gets, on a hockey team when you get hurt like Nuge and then you go on a long losing streak that everybody realizes your value to the structure of what we're doing here. And boy, the last 5 minutes is really showing Tyler is a very important part of this.
I like to think of it more as World War Z, that movie with Brad Pitt. And we're the zombies trying to climb the wall. Remember the scene where they're all trying to like climb up the wall? And your Remchuk is the gunner at the top. He's the only one holding the zombies back, which is us. And now that he's in Vegas and he's left the wall and the gun, we've overwhelmed the wall.
Well,
I've never seen that
helpful.
movie.
We do have a producer sitting in the chair. It's also helpful if you.
But he just has
The
no
guy
mic
talking
and
into
he's
the
got-
unplugged mic, that's who's in
Yeah.
charge. Come on.
It was quite
Come on.
hilarious.
Come on.
He's like watching Waz like adjust it, like he's like getting it in the perfect spot to like talk into it. He's like all set. And he's just like getting ready to speak, and then just like you just watch. There's nothing playing.
Yeah, he just ripped it like full Freddie Mercury, ripped it off the desks, just held it there and just went for it.
I mean, I'd like to bring up the fact that I can't see you three anymore on the video, but you know what?
Was you just turned off the
Whatever.
camera.
No, it was off before. He's
Oh, it
trying
was
to
off
turn it
before
on.
he's trying to fix it. Oh, okay.
Poor Waz. Holy shit.
Come on, Waz.
Let's take it a slide. We're beating. Okay, so what do we do on Real Life when Tyler's here? Well,
Here,
Tyler,
let me
tried to
ju-
keep
let me-
you on the
let me say
rails and
something.
talk about hockey. So I guess we can
Yeah.
kind of talk about that. Oilers are 5-0-1 in their last 6. How do we feel about last night?
Being
wanna
up
start?
3-0 that fast to a good team like Washington, I didn't even know what to do with my hands.
Well, the circumstance.
Washington was missing some pretty key players. I wouldn't call it
No,
a
they
good
weren't.
team.
Nope. That was them in their prime.
I know it's our
everybody present.
It's our time to beat up on a team that's been affected a little bit.
Let's not overstate the victory
Chalmers,
we had last night.
Name one Capital who wasn't playing last night. Name
Ovechkin,
one.
Yoshi.
Never heard of him.
Yoshi.
No.
Or Oshie, I mean.
Yoshi from Nintendo.
We're playing against a 4-string goalie. They just had a big game against Pittsburgh.
Their 4-string goalie because their first string we ushered out of the net.
We chased them.
3 goals and 4 shots. But Chalmers is not wrong. This is a team that played Pittsburgh the night before, played them in overtime, emotional victory. They're kind of coming into the game with a low tank.
Game before the All-Star break.
And
it was
Ovi's got
classic
the All-Star
letdown
COVID.
game.
Ovi's got All-Star COVID.
Oh,
rumor has it he really wanted to go to that.
But the
no, he doesn't. He's going to pop up
COVID, Ovi.
Watch what happens. The guy playing for Russia is going to peel his face off Mission Impossible style the Olympics. It's Ovi.
Yeah, Ovi is actually playing for Russia right now.
He's in China.
That's fair.
Man. Do you guys remember when he actually came out and said, when they were like, oh yeah, we're not going to the Olympics? He's like, I don't care. I'm still going.
I'm going no matter what. I thought he was going to hold true to that. I thought he was going to stick to it.
Yeah, I thought so.
If anybody on Team Russia has a disproportionately dominant Olympics, it's because it's Ovechkin with facial surgery. I guarantee it. Guaranteed.
You want to know what I take away from last night's game, regardless of the team we were playing? We had our 4 big guns score, and everybody played well. That to me is the perfect ending to the first, I guess you could call it, half of the season going into the All-Star break. You know, to have Kane and to have McDavid, Draisaitl, and Nugent Hopkins all score, all producing. The team was playing tougher. You see even Yamamoto getting into it with Hathaway after he, cleanly checks Connor McDavid, more of a run in.
McDavid up. What was McDavid doing? Like Hathaway didn't even want to go hit him. It just McDavid just put himself in harm's way. It was absolutely trucked.
Yeah, it was weird, but it's every game I'm seeing Evander Kane play, I'm becoming more
the hockey player.
Yeah, like just the toughness he brings. He just adds a lot of grit to this team, and it's like one of the things we've lacked for so goddamn long.
Cassian was getting more engaged,
and it gives him takes a little pressure off of him. He doesn't always have to be the guy, but last night, when you've got a second guy on the team that can help out with that helps. It relieves a little bit of that pressure, and I'm glad that Cassian was getting into it, and I just think it was an all around good game by them. We made our bets during the day. I think we were talking about it on a group chat, and I had the Oilers -1.5, so I had them on the puck line.
Oh, good man.
And Draisaitl to score, and so I was very happy to see how the game ended, because when they tied it up 3-3, that game, if those two, if Nuge doesn't score that penalty kill and then empty netter, we have a whole different feeling going into this All-Star break, don't you think?
That's the thing. So Chalmers, I also hit Oilers puck line last night, and I had Kane over 1.5 points. So big night for me as well. Fantastic.
Yep.
The thing that's I think super important to understand from last game or take away from last game is we bent, and fuck did we bend. But we did not let that third goal on Koski break us, because I thought we were fucked after that happened. Because I'm like, how are we going to come back? Normally, that's what's happening during the losing skid, and we're demoralized and we just get shelled. But we hung in and we scored a shorthanded game-winning goal. So to me, that was super, super important. That's my big takeaway and positive from it, because up until that point, in between when that goal went in and Nuge scoring that shorthanded goal, I was having a lot of losing streak anxiety kicking in and just expecting the worst about to blow up in my face.
Are you surprised that Nuge getting back in the lineup has created this much in a positive direction for this team? I guess I'm
Kane. If you look at our third line now, it's amazing. We're a team 3 weeks ago, and we're talking about how we're getting exposed by other teams because we have no depth, and all of a sudden, Kane comes, Nuge comes back, and then we're able to form, that third line. Now we actually got 3 lines that are scoring threats, which is something we've never had before. Now, granted, we are 1 injury away. Like, we're not deep enough to be able to absorb an injury and sustain that type of scoring depth, but it's just nice to see what can be.
I think
CanucksArmy guys, what do you think?
Yeah. You know, you guys brought up like the McDavid hit earlier, like how he like moved into it. Like that sparked the team. If you guys are looking at like a 3-3 game, like it did actually fire up the Oilers, it felt like, and they didn't like they looked better after the hit, but you were kind of mentioning it. Like McDavid did feel like he moved into that big hit.
Maybe he was being a good leader. He's like, I'm going to get blown up to get the W here.
It started with Kane's like, I'm going to get flipped into the bench. McDavid's like, I'm going to get laid out at center ice. And then the Oilers get a shorthanded goal and win. It was a crazy sequence of events, really.
And our PK woke up.
Can I ask you guys a question?
You may.
I need to know, how much do you guys actually believe in Mikko Koskinen? Like
0.
Fully. Who the hell are you?
No. 0.
No,
0.
we don't.
I was gonna say, like, I don't understand and I get, you know, fans of the team, you want to see your team do well, but like Mikko Koskinen would get crucified if he was in Vancouver. Like,
his dear Quads, you dear friend of ours. Listen, it's like driving a car with no brakes. What's it like driving around the car with no brakes? Exhilarating. What's it like having 0 faith in your 9-foot Finnish goalie? Intoxicating.
So,
I feel alive.
Is there any pressure on this manager to go get a goaltender?
Yes.
No, it's all good, baby. We got it.
Vancouver, they would have got one 5
we're
months
good.
ago.
We don't need all your fancy shit.
Well,
out
we
here.
like to practice patience to a fault.
Yes.
And that is the mantra here. We're very zen, although we are losing our shit about our goaltending.
Okay.
We like to lock guys in that you may not see coming, Quads. You say, why would they need 3 years of Mikko Koskinen in hockey? We know why.
Yes.
We know why.
Same reason the Canucks needed Tyler Myers for 6 years.
I don't know who that is, but no. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
See, as per a Jason Greger tweet today, I mean, the bright side is coming back from the All-Star break. I think we're going to be reactivating Smith, and hopefully that makes a difference. So
if he can stay healthy, that's the thing. It's
if he can stay healthy,
for us.
Right. It's a huge question mark. And that's, you know, we got a week to wait to see what's going to happen. And if he comes back and then he goes back into his role, I feel a whole lot better about it. I'm not going to lie. You know, with Koskinen, it's just like that we're always on thin ice with him. It's just and you just see guys, everybody shoots to where they know that he's weak. It just is constant up high, both sides. And it's just, it's hard to watch because like I said, it always puts just that added pressure. It always feels like the levee's about to break with him. And I don't like that feeling in a goaltender. You can't have that going into the playoffs. That's for sure. And right now we're in 9th in the Western Conference. Like,
yeah, but don't like the house is not.
I'm not scoreboard watching because we do have 42 games played. Anaheim has 48. Los Angeles has 47. You know, Vegas has 46. And so, yeah, we got 6 games in hand on a few. Minnesota's only played 41 and they're in 3rd in the conference. So I know that table watching right now is probably not the smartest thing, but going into that,
but just like do the math when you're doing it. Like,
well, and I just did.
Well, I'm impressed.
I mean, I'm not going to get any deeper into the math, but like I definitely see what's going on. It's good that the guys behind us have, you know, we have a couple games in hand in them other than Winnipeg and, well, just Winnipeg really.
Essential. So like that's irrelevant. We just care about the Pacific with how it's broken up for playoffs.
Well,
I'm just blown away how much Quads overvalues reliable goaltending.
Yeah, it's a Vancouver.
I'm floored.
I'm just saying, when you see playoff teams succeed, it's like almost always, oh yeah, this goaltender is playing out of this world. Like, honestly, I see Stuart Skinner being the only goaltender on the Oilers roster that could go on a heater like that in the playoffs.
What on earth?
That's why we got Stuart Skinner.
I don't mean to come drop bombs on you guys, but like, I like Stuart Skinner a lot. I think Stuart Skinner is really good, but he also, you know, he has faults, but not nearly as many faults as Mikko Koskinen or Mike Smith's hips.
I'd actually be interested in Faber's take on Skinner. So just so you know, some background for everyone. Faber's a big prospects guy. He covers, is it Abbotsford Heat? No, Abbotsford
used to be.
Abbotsford Canucks.
Just Canucks.
Now. They're 2 Canucks. Okay, Abbotsford Canucks. So Faber's covering. He also covers a ton of other prospects. And have you seen Skinner play?
Yeah, like when we watched, they had 4 Bakersfield games in Abbotsford in 5 nights, and Skinner was going to start all 4 until the last game got canceled. And he was excellent, like allowing 1 or 2 goals in each of those games. But I mean, like, I also don't judge goal. Like, I'm not the goalie guy. I really could care less about like.
Yeah, apparently you are.
I think it's good that the Canucks have good goaltenders, and Thatcher Demko, even before that, Markstrom and like Miller before. But I don't know what to tell you about. Like,
well, tell us how to do it. We haven't had a good goalie since Nikolai Habibulin, and that was terrible.
I mean, I don't know the answer. Like, it sucks that if you can raise the puck, you can score on Koskinen. That's all I really know about, like, the goaltending.
Oh, no. Where'd you hear that? Probably CanucksArmy, the worst website. Shit.
No, but it's straight, like, I don't know. It's got to be, like, at least exciting hockey. Like, you guys talked about driving around with a car without any brakes. That's what it feels like. Watch this thing. Like, I get what you're saying, how it's exciting, but God, that's scary as hell. And it is interesting to see how this is going to play out here over the next little bit. Because Quads, I don't know. Quads is the goalie guy. He says Skinner's good. Like, he also says Askarov's like the worst goalie of all time.
Askarov sucks.
So I don't know.
You heard it here first.
Well, but Askarov was terrible in World Juniors.
I was saying this before World Juniors. Everybody thinks this take comes from World Juniors. I watched Askarov in the KHL, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, top round pick." I was like, "This guy's structural abilities are horrible." And this segues perfectly into what I was just saying, because Mike McKenna and I do a little column on Daily Faceoff where we basically just have conversations about goaltenders. We touched on Askarov. We did a whole article about that, but we also did one on the Oilers situation.
It's probably all biased. That website can't be trusted either.
Stuart Skinner, like, we both really like Stuart Skinner. I'm talking about McKenna and I. We both really like Stuart Skinner, but there definitely are faults in his game. And one of those faults is just his backwards skating isn't great. And that's going to limit his lateral. His lateral mobility is definitely going to be.
You want to play backward skating, or you want to play ice hockey?
I could give one shit. Cow. That's what he can't do.
It's whatever.
His lateral movement. And Oilers fans are going to notice this. I always like pointing this out. I always say this with Canucks prospects too. I like point out what fans are going to see, and then they tweet me later like, "Oh, I saw it." And we talk about post integration a lot on our show. Chris doesn't like that, but it's a huge part of goaltending. And, we talk about the reverse VH.
Miko does not integrate with the post. No, that's why that high short side is always available.
Yes.
And even 7-hole.
Yes. And we were even, remember in the bar last night, I even said to you, I'm like, Miko's in the wrong stance there. Like, he shouldn't have been in the stance.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. Maybe if our goalie can't skate, he'll stay in his net. And if he stays in his net, he won't go for a wander. He won't wander. He'll make saves.
So I got a question.
What the hell?
I got a question for you talking about this. So the plan, I guess, on paper right now is to bring back Mike Smith for after the All-Star break and have him and Koskinen. And we play 5 games in 8 days coming out of the break. That's 2 of those are back-to-back nights. You need to have 2 goalies that can do this, like that are healthy. And so if Mike Smith's not 100%, you got to keep Skinner in there, correct? Like, do we not agree with that?
I agree. If you're asking me, I agree. There's a similar situation going on in Vancouver right now with Yaroslav Halak, because he has a no movement clause. Does Koskinen have anything on his contract preventing him from being sent down or added to a taxi squad?
So we got to pull this up in Puckpedia. When he signed, I thought he had a no movement clause, but I think in his last year it's removed.
Okay, because that's the big thing, right?
Then why haven't we sent him down?
Because that's exactly what I'm trying to find out and ask you guys, is because, when a player has a no movement clause, it also means you can't put him on the taxi squad, which is a big deterrent, right? Like, that's why you won't see the Canucks, even though Spencer Martin went on a heater, and Canucks fans think the Oilers are going to trade a first-round pick for Spencer Martin, by the way. That's the narrative going around Vancouver. But even though Spencer Martin's going on this heater and they start Halak, even though he's in COVID, when he comes out of COVID protocol and Demko was still there, they started Martin over Halak. The reason you're not going to see Martin start over Halak when he's actually healthy and Demko's healthy is because you're obviously not putting Thatcher Demko on waivers to send him to the taxi squad. You're also not putting Yaroslav Halak on the taxi squad because you literally cannot with his contract construction. But I just looked it up. So he has a modified no trade clause. All he has 15-team no trade list. So you can put him on the taxi squad. So to answer your question, yeah, like, I think you are starting Stuart Skinner. Again, you don't want to, it's a situation where you don't want to throw him into the fire too soon. Like, it is too much to ask Stuart Skinner to step in and make starts over Mikko Koskinen on a consistent basis. And you're our starter. Our season hinges on you. But if you have Mike Smith there and Stuart Skinner's your backup there, that's a much better situation for a young goaltender to kind of marinate in and come into the league in a much better, little bit less pressure scenario, because they were playing the wheels off him in Bakersfield. Like, what'd you say, 4 and 5 nights or something like that?
Before COVID canceled the fourth. Yeah, he played 3 and 4 nights out there in Abbotsford. He was expected to play the fourth, but yeah, I don't know.
Well, in my memory,
find AHL goalie. I just don't know if he's the answer at the NHL. I don't know.
I know, but my memory's not great for this kind of stuff. But there is a point in this season where he was our most consistent goalie between him and Koskinen. He had a little run there where he was playing.
I think you're thinking of like one game. We haven't played him.
I think we're playing like. I think I'm talking about like 2 or 3, but it just showed it. I know it wasn't that long, but it's all we have to talk about with him. Like, I don't know much about what he does in Bakersfield. Like I only know what I see up here, and I'm thinking I'm surprised
at the AHL level.
Yeah,
but
he's good.
There's no backward skating requirement in the AHL though.
But you know what?
Evident.
This is even something for Oilers fans to kind of hang on to. Is McKenna and I were talking about it, and he's like, yeah, backward skating is his weakness, but you don't use that as much as you used to. Like you don't see goalies coming out as far as they used to. Like think about, even 10 years ago, how different goaltending is. Like the big difference was the reverse VH is the thing that everybody uses now. So that means your lead leg on the post when you're integrating to it is the one that's along the ice. Before, that was the one that was upright on the post. Like you guys will remember that was the VH, but now every goaltender has moved to the reverse VH. And even, that's what makes Mike Smith, in my opinion, such an admirable goalie, because he's changed his style so much because the game is always changing, right? Like, people wonder, why has Matt Murray struggled? It's because the league had a shift right after he won those cups and he wasn't able to adapt. He just wasn't able to. So you look at a guy like Mike Smith, who has been able to adapt and change his game. Like, go look at old Mike Smith tape. It looks nothing like what he looks like now. And I think that's something that's really like admirable to kind of look at, and something that you should be keeping your eye on with Stuart Skinner as well.
That was pretty in depth, man.
Sorry.
See, I don't like this.
Like these Canucks convo guys, these CanucksArmy guys, they bring the heat, the facts.
They're heavy with all their numbers and their facts. Listen,
talk about
here's how we pick
reverse V8 or whatever.
Here's how we fucking pick goalies out here.
No one drinks V8. Like, let's be serious.
Yeah, no. Here's how we do it, boys. We say who is available, and then we say, okay, who would play here? Subset of who's available. We go, okay, those are not options. Then we go what's called off board. I'm looking for development leagues overseas in countries you may not think would have a hockey league. That's where we're looking. We're looking for standout talent from Kazakhstan. That's how you get Mikko Koskinen, long past his prime. It's worked so far, boys. I don't know what to tell you.
So just like this year, so far, he's started 11 games for us. Can you believe that?
King Mikko?
It says in 2000, in the 2001, 2002, 21, 22 season. Am I looking at the wrong fucking thing here? Okay.
I just looked it up.
Yeah, it's not 11. Jeez, Chalmers. You can't come.
No. I'm on.
Chalmers, this is the CanucksArmy guys. They have a real show.
No, 12 games played. 12 games played. I don't know if any of those have been in relief. 12 games played for.
He's 12 games. He's started 11 games for us.
What's his record?
He's gone 5-6. But that's not that reflective. A lot of the losses were early. In the last 4 games he's played for us, he's 3-1. That's on December 16th against the Blue Jackets, the 18th against Seattle, January 15th against Ottawa, and the 29th against Montreal.
Well, there's your guy.
There's your guy.
That's
He's got a 925 in the A, right? Like those are good numbers. Those are very respectable numbers. And like I said, Faber's seen him a lot. I've picked apart his game a lot more.
When I saw Skinner in the A2, now that I think about it, like the Abbotsford Canucks skated like 16 players because they're missing like 8 guys due to COVID. So it's not like Skinner was standing on his head against like a quality HL team. He was facing PTO guys and guys that were just coming back from COVID. So, I mean, he was playing well, and I'm sure that he plays well in the AHL like consistently. But well, like you said, it kind of surprised me to hear 11 starts for Skinner in the NHL.
I'm shocked. I thought he's maybe played 5 games this year.
He has 12 starts in his career, and 11 of them are this year. I know. I was just shocked. I'm like thinking I'm looking at a different season. No, that is this season. So I don't know. I don't know what to say. All I know is that coming back from this fucking break with this condensed schedule, thanks to COVID, like it is, I mean, it's that 5 and 8 in 8 days. And then we play another, 5 over 10, but there's another section of the schedule that's like that. And in this section coming up, Vegas, San Jose, the Kings, and the Ducks are all teams that are super important. And we play them in all 4 of those teams in 2 weeks, plus mix in a game against the Blackhawks and a game against the Islanders. We need to have 2 goaltenders that can get us through that. there's nothing else to be said about that. And if Smith can do it, then I want to see Smith, and I don't give a shit who the other one is because I have zero confidence really in either of them, but there's upside, I think, in Skinner. I don't know. It's a lot. It's just so
expect for this season. Like it takes it takes a while. Look at Spencer Martin's 25, 26, and he's starting to really show his potential. So we still could be a few years away from getting Skinner to where we want to be, but so we've got a gap to fill, and Mike Smith can't be relied on because now the injury bug is attacking him at will. So
how do you break down Skinner's career and not even mention his mustache, Chalmers?
It is
like a mustache,
a hell of a duster.
Have you seen it? It's a hell of a duster.
His pictures. There, you know how when you Google somebody, you get like the box on the right that's got it's got like 5 or 6 different pictures of him. The one when he's drafted, he looks so young, and then
but he doesn't have his duster.
Oh my God! You put a mustache and a little goat on him. Hell, he's a good-looking young man.
He's like a guy from the 1930s when everyone prided themselves on their mustache. It was like your defining feature. Skinner's of that era. He's got a fantastic mustache.
You could also be a musketeer, put a floppy hat on him.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Is there any one particular thing that the Oilers need more than for him to just come out of nowhere and like really start to progress and become special?
Our first legitimate NHL starter since Dubnyk.
We drafted one. His name was Devin Dubnyk. We ruined his life, and then he went on to I think win the.
No, but that's not the point. We all know Smith is not the answer. We all know Koskinen's not the answer.
We asked the question. We should never have asked that question.
Never ask.
Also, we would have had some good goaltending.
I gotta say,
I want to talk to I want to ask you guys your opinion on this, because other than Skinner becoming special, we know Smith, we know Koskinen's not the answer, and who's out there? Like, who's out there? What are our options right now?
Again, I'm gonna, every Vancouver Canucks fan that listens to this is gonna hate me for saying this because they all want Edmonton to give up a first-round pick for Spencer Martin, but
we might give you 2. That's how good we are.
I don't know if you want that stopgap, but you almost need to have some sort of stopgap. I don't actually think Spencer Martin's the answer. There's just not much available. Like there are not a lot of goaltenders just readily available out there for teams to go after.
What about like they could be all in on Kemper after because he only has 1. You didn't re-sign, right? He has got 1 year left on his deal.
Yeah, Kemper's,
so he's a UFA.
Yeah.
What about getting Dreger out of Seattle because he's buried behind Grubauer, and they bucked up for Dreger.
Yeah, but Dreger hasn't played well either, right? Like I don't think you want to put all your chips in the basket on like one of these guys. You need to draft and develop a goaltender. You look at the teams that
we don't have that kind of time.
Well, exactly, and that's the problem. Is you need to.
That's the fucking problem.
You need to get a stopgap to fill in the time between Skinner because you don't want to rush Skinner. But what I will say about Skinner, I was at the Oilers morning skate when they were in Vancouver. I was the only media member that stayed. Me and Kevin Woodley, actually, of course. Skinner was the first goalie on the ice, even though he wasn't starting, and he was also the last off the ice. He was the last player off the ice, first player on the ice. First player off the or last player off the ice as well. So I'm just saying, like, his work habits are there. That's what you want to see in a young prospect. He wants to improve and he wants to get better, and that's definitely a good sign for a young goalie. I always look at their practice work habits when I evaluate goaltenders.
So you always hear the thing about like McDavid. They stay after practice, and McDavid runs some agility drills, and the guys stay out there and do that. Like, if there was an opportunity for a guy like Skinner to get extra work against some of the best shooters in the league, that's it. You know what I mean? So like the table's set for him in a way. And I just hope that he can. What's that?
He can only be good. It's a circumstance. He can only be good. We're going to make him good. I believe
we're going to make him good. We're going to make him good. Let's have faith. All right. Is that enough Skinner talk? Is that enough goal?
This is the most we've talked about goaltending.
This is the most we've talked about.
It's a good thing no one listens to this podcast. Like, what am I listening to? This is a real hockey podcast. What the fuck is going on?
Well, what do you guys want to? Well, like, okay, so we got quads and faves here, so we should just talk to them as human beings. So I'll kind of.
Can I ask them a couple questions? Can I ask a couple questions?
Of course, yeah. This is what I want to tee up.
Talk to them as human beings.
How did you guys?
Hey, I'm going to go full your M check. This segment brought to you by Twig and Berries.
Yeah.
Check out the ODR selection at Twig and Berries. Use promo code Nation15. Suck it, your M check.
So Wanya here, longtime hockey blogger, and no one ever asked me if I wanted to have a real radio show. And I was wondering, how you got a real radio show and what advice you would have for people how to get a radio show?
No, Chris Faber. Become friends with Chris Faber. That's how.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been producing at Sportsnet since December 2020. Just like stuff behind the scenes. Then eventually, I just kept pestering, saying that we have a podcast and we've been hosting together. We have good chemistry, and then they gave us an opportunity for like 3 hours. I don't know why we like jumped right to 3 hours on the weekend. Like
that's a lot of time to
They
fill.
just went
a
for
lot.
us.
That's like a good 6 segments of show. Like I thought it was just gonna be like 1 hour on like Sunday night, but it's like, hey, we're gonna put you in like the pregame for 3 hours, even though you've never hosted radio.
And then,
So you pestered them though, for the record. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah,
Pestered them. You said, give us a show. Because people listening sometimes on the questions is like, how do you make it in sports media when really no one's hiring these days, right? And many times you have to sweat motherfuckers and you have to volunteer for stuff. And you have to make your own lanes. I just wanted to hear the story of how you guys made your
Or
own
you just create a fictional place called the Jungle and just get callers to call in and say stupid shit all day.
I can kind of speak to that because, Faber and I both went through very similar trajectories, but basically I got my start at a different media company just as an unpaid blogger. That's really how you have to start because nobody knows your name at that point. I actually got my start by DMing Chris because he was a Canucks fan on Twitter. I was a Canucks fan on Twitter. I saw he was writing at this site and I said, hey, I'm really good at writing, I think, not to toot my own horn.
You can say their site. We don't care. It's all good.
Yeah, well, it was a fan-sided site, the fan-sided Canucks site.
Yeah.
And I asked Chris how I could get started because I was hating university. I was studying English with hopes of becoming an English teacher.
And sorry, Quads, what year was this, just for people?
2019.
Look how fast shit happens, people.
No, I was 19 at the time.
You're DMing your boy on Twitter. Now you have your own radio show for 3 hours.
What's even more fucked is like Quads has come to 2 different sites that I've been writing at and become my boss within 6 months. Like he showed up at Canuck Way, became my boss in 6 months. So
2 months. That took me 2 months.
2 months. So then I left and went to CanucksArmy when Ryan Beach was still the managing editor. Came here, worked for CanucksArmy, and then like as soon as the spot opened up for him to just come on as contributor, Ryan I think brought him in at the time too.
Jackson McDonald,
whatever.
Who hates me now.
The next editor brought him in at the time. Like he's become my boss twice, so that's why like I need to push him around the podcast because that's the only spot where like, somehow he's gonna figure out how to become my boss there, even though I started the damn thing.
Yeah. Jay asked me my career goals when I joined CanucksArmy. I said to be Faber's boss at all times.
Yeah, I had to make that happen very fast. I did my part.
But yeah, that was basically how it got started. Is just grind away. Write as much as you can. I was very fortunate. I was able to like live at home. So I wasn't really having to work full time. I was, in school as well. So I was really fortunate in that regard. Obviously not everybody has the same opportunities that we do, but we got very lucky as well. Like a lot of it is just grinding and the right people noticing. One of which is sitting beside me.
Like going out of your way. Like you asked how you made it happen with the radio show. Like I literally just at the time we had TSN, we had Sportsnet, and I would email I would email basically the bosses at both sites, like both radio stations, every like 2 months, asking if there was any opportunity for an internship. And then after not doing it for like 6 months, Sportsnet just hit me up in an email. It was like, hey, it's December. Everyone's taking all this time off. We want to train you up as like a board op or a producer and like things like that. Like if you're not texting, emailing,
so you can
not getting out of your way.
Control this. You can control the controllables. You can make sure that you're the most annoying person in their inbox. If it's a job you want, right?
Like even if you're annoying as shit, like as long as they know your name, right? Yeah. And that's the thing. And you can do it.
You'll never see, sorry to interrupt, you'll never see Canucks radio host on monster.com. Like you just won't, right? You have to build your own way into it. And like doing stuff for free, like writing a blog on your own website every day. Your Remchuk does that. You guys did that. We did that ourselves. That's how this whole thing came to be. There are free things you can do in the short term while you have a day job if you want to build your way into sports media.
And not to be afraid to put yourself out there, because I don't know if you guys want to tell everybody about the person you guys just hired.
We did?
Us?
No. To JR. And we can cut this if you want. But
it's been a busy week.
When we were on
what a flex.
When we were doing the show with business dad Chris Labossiere, basically you threw out there that you needed a position filled and to reach out. And a lot of people would be like, oh, it might not work. And I'm nervous. I don't want to just reach out and do that kind of thing. But somebody reached out and I believe you hired them. Did you not?
Several really good people.
We had our episode when we had Business Dad on. We talked about the integrator position that we want to fill within the company to help just help this actually become a real company. You need someone like a chief operating officer, GM, whatever, but someone who is just a mastermind of how operations work and how to communicate and bring different factions of the business together. So yeah, we posted on Indeed and LinkedIn and all that stuff, and we got a bunch of candidates, and it turned out that the successful candidate was a listener of Real Life.
Yeah.
Who lives in Victoria, who is now living in Edmonton, who's from Edmonton originally, still has his family here, is going to work in Edmonton 3 weeks a month.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Many ways to get to your desired goal.
Yeah.
None of them are wrong.
Which 3 months is he spending in Edmonton?
3 weeks.
The best 3
month.
3 weeks a month. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I was like, what 3 months is the best months to be here?
Well, the
Not November, December,
5 weeks
January.
have been pretty nice. Well, last week in January is nice, or in Jasper is nice. But anyways, that's another thing.
I would prefer a cold, sunny day to a rainy day with no snow 100 times out of 100, gentlemen.
It's fair.
100 times out of 100.
It's a
It's
winter-
very depressing to live in
rainy
the rain.
winter, right?
Yeah, we're really rainy in the winter.
You
Yeah.
should have seen Vancouver. We had a minus 12 day in Vancouver this year, and people went nuts.
World
Like,
shut down.
minus 12 ruined our whole city.
And that's like humid cold too, right?
That's true. That's true. I've
a-
noticed that it's different. It's a different kind of cold
Like,
here. Like I'm not
minus
as-
20 with no wind is a walk in the park here.
Yeah. It wasn't as bad as I thought. That's my impression of Edmonton. Not as bad as I thought. I really like it here.
So Quads was here early in August. That's what I was
Yes.
trying to say. Late August, he was here. He came for a visit, and we had some good chats. And one of the things on the itinerary that we did not get to was having a donair. So Quads, basically the first words out of his mouth when he got out of his Uber to come meet us at Dog Patch last night was, "We need to go for a donair." So we decided for lunch today, we didn't have much time to go out for a donair. So we hopped on DoorDash, ding dong, and went to Buster's, our
Delish.
Buster's Pizza and Donair, and they delivered us some delicious donairs. And the funny thing was, and this is the cute thing, right? Because we're proud of Donairs in Edmonton. It's an Edmonton
right.
thing, right?
You are.
I'm proud too, Chalmers. What's
Yeah,
matter with you?
yeah, Chalmers is, yeah, don't worry about him. He's plus he's had
Donairs
hundreds of
are
Donairs. That's like, dude.
overrated.
Oh my
Anyways.
God! In front of guests, you're being
Yeah,
assessed.
exactly. So anyways, like we
Jesus.
like to, because I think we like lead the world in donair shops in a city. We
Congrats.
deserve to be the authorities of this. So so Quads and them are like, yeah, well, we have donairs in Vancouver all the time. I'm like, sure. So I'm like going to I get on the DoorDash app and okay, what are you getting? And Quads goes, I'll get a lamb donair, please.
Okay, Quad. Extra olives, I suppose.
Sweet
Look.
boy.
They have lamb donair in Vancouver. I was trying to explain this. I get that proper donair is like some beef thing, but you can get
Nobody
beef
needs to know what the meat is. What are we?
Exactly. That's
scientists?
part. That's the
What's
whole.
Nobody
going
does
on?
know what the
Donair.
meat is.
Can I get a?
We don't need to know
'cause
everything all
He
the
thinks it's
time.
lamb, chicken, and beef are your donair options.
every donair shop in Vancouver. Those are your options.
But that's what I'm saying. They're not donair shops. They
Okay.
might be donair kebab shops or they're shawarma shops.
okay.
They're not a donair.
Okay. I don't disagree with what you're saying because I've learned something new today.
Yes,
But they
yeah.
call them donair. Like they don't say
Well, then,
this is shawarma. They
then
say
we've
what
got a
kind of
class
donair would you
action
like.
lawsuit. We got to
That's what I'm saying.
take on a flight to Vancouver and slap some people with because they're defaming the slander towards a donair that is
Yeah.
happening right now is very, very off-putting.
Big donair is a dangerous industry.
Well, you know what? It is in Edmonton because, like I said, people will live and die by their donair shop. Like it's Hatfield and McCoy's. It can get to that level.
When you get going like this, Jay, I see just a countdown over your head until you're in the donair business. I feel like it's the one thing in your life you're passionate about you haven't gotten into. When does that day come when you enter into the donair or possibly donair NFT market?
Donair NFTs. Oh, it's funny you bringing that up. One, I was actually approached about scaling a local donair shop, but
How couldn't you?
well, it's more of the time thing, but I just it could be done. There's a lot of work left to do with Oodle Noodle. It's something I can definitely go back to. But what I would like for us to see for us is a Nation Donair somewhere.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. So like it's it's either in a Nation owned bar or just a partner or Nation hospitality partner. And we build and construct, like we are in charge of like sourcing the meat, the spiciness of the meat, the sauce, the viscosity.
Could you prototype Donairs
in the lettuce, the Roma tomatoes, all of that stuff? Because we will go Roma tomatoes to make a Nation Donair.
Jay, could you prototype Donairs in a noodle location?
I think what you could maybe introduce Donair meat as a protein option.
Could you do just like a ghost kitchen inside it, where all of a sudden all the nudes now are Donair restaurants too that do delivery?
That would be so there'd be so you're messing with the oodle noodle system when you introduce something that's completely kind of not complementary.
No question. Is there like 40 extra square feet to throw a Donair spinner in?
Maybe in some stores. Maybe in some.
What are we,
it's as though you don't own a
what are we
giant
doing?
chain of 17
What are we
locations
doing?
with a factory.
Oodle noodle. Part of the atmosphere is the fact that when you go in, it's like a really cool, like wok fired noodle restaurant.
Right, but if we're gonna start going into all these new secondary locations
in the back corner, and all of a sudden it becomes like, what are we? I don't know. You guys get Donairs for the
falls
Nation,
under
and
the
I'll
noodle of oodle noodle. We do
I'll
wings,
be pulling my Neil Young card.
We do butter chicken. We do butter chicken. We do butter chicken mac and cheese. I'm just saying, if the man loves Donairs, he has distribution network already.
Well, definitely do. I'd have to get Sonny's approval, but maybe there's a way to incorporate.
Maybe it's not a good idea. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, it's
hey, Donairs are delicious, man.
The idea of a Nation Donair being sold somewhere would be amazing.
If we do it in Vancouver, we can get a lamb one.
Oh God.
Oh my God. What color pineapple? There's only one color.
CanucksArmy Donair.
Definitely
no affiliation.
No affiliation with the Nation Network. Rogue Donair Company.
The West Coast lamb.
These guys already have
Oilers Nation Donair is 7 kilograms. It wears a belt. It's so big. It has like a 32 waist. A Donair. The Nation. It's delicious.
That'll be the day Jay sells CanucksArmy. He's just like, yeah, just take it. We don't want anything to do with it. You brought this horrible Donair to us.
Yeah,
we don't
take your Donair.
Yeah, we don't
get
want
out of here.
to do with this.
But yeah, it was very cute because it's nice to see, like, we're all Canadians, right? And so we all, cheer for Team Canada, but we're all different in our own communities because we all have different, just like how Donairs have and the influence of, like Ukrainian, Polish, Lebanese influence we have in our culinary, Vietnamese in Edmonton's culinary scene. Like, so the two big currencies in Edmonton, green onion cakes and Donairs.
Oh, I tried.
But then in the home, in the household, it is cabbage rolls, it's pierogies. Like, this is all big, like, staples of Edmonton food. But it's funny, you go to Vancouver, also in Canada, and you go to a Donair shop that has 3 different protein options.
Mm-hmm.
And falafel.
We used to be a country.
Okay.
What's that?
We used to be a country, a proper country.
Yeah.
Now look at us, so divided.
So divided.
What did you make me try
Nova
last time?
Scotia? Doesn't Nova Scotia, like you guys were saying, Nova Scotia is completely different Donair?
No,
That's
so
where
it's
I'm
not
going.
completely different. So the Halifax Donair, they don't believe in having lettuce. They actually don't believe really in vegetables on the Donair.
Okay, now we're talking.
Right? So
And they grill it
more
kind
of
of
a
too,
gout
right? It's
Donair.
crispy.
Like, the veggies at least kind of offset any kind of potential for a gout flare up. Where in Halifax, they're all in on that. Also, there's sweet sauce. So we love our sweet sauce, which is like a very liquidy sauce, which you guys saw, and you saw me make a big pool mess of it in front of me while I was eating it.
Likewise.
They use a thicker, a little bit more garlic infused sauce, which I also enjoy. I'll give them props on the sauce.
It's just not a Donair. You can be delicious. There's nothing saying that you can't have a garlic lamb kebab that isn't out of this world.
Yeah,
It's
but then
just
it's
not a
good. But
Donair,
it's a
boy.
great kebab.
Delish.
Delicious kebab.
What did you make me try last time that I really liked? Green onion cakes, I think it was called, right?
Yeah.
It was so
Yeah,
good.
it took quads to oodle noodle.
You've got to try that. That's what we got to get Faber to try before we leave, or next time we come.
And Chalmers, me and Jay argued over green onion cakes, just like we thought about introducing Donairs there in Oodle Noodle. It may not happen, but we bet on green onion cakes when it was a fairly like small sourced thing, and Oodle Noodle was in fact able to sell a lot of them. They're delicious.
No, I get that part. But what I'm saying is, because that kind of ties in, like green onion cakes ties into like the Asian food flair, right? But like when you go to you know, when you go to those
Jay, did you
restaurants
like did you like butter chicken poutine? Make it and then make them make it for you and put it on the menu? I feel like that was your baby. You're like, this is delicious.
It was an experiment because once again, so thinking, let's unpack butter chicken poutine for a second. So it's poutine crazed market.
Yeah.
So what would be an oodle noodle spin on butter chicken poutine? But most importantly, what is it? Is it something that can fit the system? So all you need to do to be able to sell butter chicken poutine at Oodle Noodle is just bring in fries and put them in a freezer and drop them in the fryer when someone makes an order. So,
but a hater could say, "Hey, why does Oodle Noodle have potatoes? That's not noodle. It falls under the oodle
these things
of Oodle Noodle."
That's why you put in cold butter chicken.
I'll say
Oodle Noodle could sell radial tires if it was so inclined. It falls under the oodle of Oodle Noodle.
Yeah, but it's all a matter of what it does to them. Like, in my opinion, I believe that selling Donairs out of Oodle Noodle would cheapen the brand because Donairs to me seems like a fast food, like cheap style meal that you can go pick up with a side of fries, right? And Oodle Noodles is not like that to me.
Well, that's
my opinion.
Also, your disdain for Donairs comes through loud and clear.
But here's the fact. Sweet sauce, buddy, there's not many times I order a pizza from someplace and don't make sure that the pizza place has Donairs because I want a side of Donair sauce. Like, I love
That's Nietzsche's
Donair
pizza's
sauce.
talking.
Oh my God, it's the best. Like, I always get that. So it's the meat and the lettuce and just the cheese. It just doesn't work for me. I'm not gonna whatever. We all like our own shit.
I
don't like Donairs
too. So our Donairs in Vancouver is like there's a lot more vegetables that you put in.
That's why I asked for light veg.
When you guys
my
you
goodness.
just said lettuce, tomato, onion. We have like pineapples, mushrooms. That's what I wanted to add. It's like no pineapple on pizza.
Okay, I've never gotten that.
So this is not a Donair. And then they see the Donair and they're like, oh, this is like a different wrap.
Yeah,
it was. You know what? The pita was thicker here. It's like it wasn't as
what
thick.
we have in Vancouver, our Donair, as I'll have to do.
Thank you for that.
Because you're like, I liked the meat better.
I liked this a lot better.
But ours is just a big pita. It's like it basically looks like a calzone stuffed with the same thing that you guys.
Like, I was trying to show you, like,
so it's pita pit.
Basically, it's pita pit. Yeah, that's what most of the Donair spots.
See, that's
hey,
fair.
do you guys have pita pit?
Yeah.
Hey, we're not so different. Okay, we're back. We're back.
The big Donair in Vancouver, I think it's called Donair Dude.
Yeah,
well,
that's the
imagine that guy's
branding.
Imagine being that guy.
But if someone offers me canned mushrooms or pineapple on my Donair, I am going to throw up on
I've
site.
never
Donair, dude.
I'd throw it right in front of Donair, dude.
Would you fight
another hot
Donair
take?
Dude on behalf of Oodle Noodle, Jay? Would you square off with Donair Dude? There can only be one.
I would square off against Noodle King.
Fictitious you at Noodle King could probably fight you fair. Chances are you could beat up the Donair Dude.
So there's a rival noodle chain that only lives on Twitter called Noodle King that is anti-oodle noodles. So they don't sell green onion cakes. They sell red onion cakes. And their president's name is Ray Upton.
And they tell us off all the time on Twitter, but it's not us.
Yeah, it's great. And it was all because Wanya had a dream about it and then someone ran with it and now it's become a thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you know our listeners?
Whatever what you wish for.
Jay?
What's that?
Our listeners call you Downtown Jay. There's like a character on our show.
Yeah.
You have your own character. The big boss of Nation Network.
Oh, I gotta come on the podcast.
Absolutely.
I gotta set the record
You came on. That's how the name
And
came.
like right after you left, I think I was like, well, that was Downtown Jay. And you're like, I was like, that was Jay Downtown. And then he's like, it's not his name.
You got to come up with like a cool
Downtown
downtown character, Jay. You got to have like a cool downtown way when you go on the show, knowing that's how you roll.
100%.
You're like, what's up with all these skyscrapers and all this heavy traffic?
Hey, Wanya,
Downtown.
you want another hot take?
Yeah. What do you got?
Poutine. Disgusting.
Oh, no.
Oh,
No.
Josh, whatever.
There's so many
Fries and gravy. Add some
yourself on
cheese.
that
Let's
take.
make it a name for it, and everybody thinks they're
Oh,
cool because
my
they eat
goodness.
it. It is
Wow.
gross. I don't like it.
Oh my God, that is not a hot take. That is a
We have guests over, and now you're just
take.
acting crazy.
What? We all have our own food style. But listen, you will not catch me dead eating no poutine anywhere.
Where have you tried?
Oh, sorry,
poutine?
Chalmers. Sorry. This is coming from the guy whose number one lunchtime restaurant in the city is 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is so not
Chalmers
true.
had 7-Eleven cater his
willing
wedding.
to start a
FYI.
world war for
You-
not getting the old
Yeah.
pizza.
You
Yeah.
always okay. Listen, my take on 7-Eleven was when they first initially had pizza. I was in a place where
This is a good take.
I
Pizza
could
back
not
then.
get food anywhere else, and pizza. And so I was like, man, I'm buying convenience store pizza. This is a low point in my life, and I had it,
Yes.
and it
You
was
bottomed.
fucking great. It was
Pizza
awesome.
Hut. It was a Pizza Hut connection at first.
I don't know what it was, but it was
It was
fantastic.
really good pizza back.
Is that
And
like,
then they
is that like there's a Pizza Hut connection to 7-Eleven, same as you hear about like Kirkland brand vodka is actually Grey Goose?
So I saw
Really?
something on
Yeah.
Instagram that said like 31 brands you wouldn't believe were actually Kirkland brands. And it was, some of them were shocking. Some of them were like dog food and like stuff like that. But some of them, they don't even try to say that they're not. Like the Kirkland golf balls are like a legit golf ball. Like they're I
Putter-
don't
they have
remember.
they have a putter and wedge set. It's Callaway. And it's
Yes. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
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 Oh, well, that's
Callaway
legit.
kit, yeah.
Okay.
Our friend just said that he bought a pair of shorts at Costco, and he also owns a pair of shorts at from Lululemon. And that not only do they feel the same fabric, they have the same pocket stitches, and they have the same, like the logo in the exact same spot. He is convinced that they were made for Costco by Lululemon.
What?
And
Chalmers, that's like
yeah.
my friend. He has a Lamborghini, but it says Kirkland on the back.
well, no, it's
And,
like it's like a
it was
Fiero
80
running all
grand.
Ferrari parts. We had my best buddy back in the day. He used to go to this guy's house and he's like, "Oh man, that's a sweet Ferrari." And the guy in his Alberta accent went, "Oh, she's a Fiero, but she's running all Ferrari parts." And he just every time we saw a shitty car, he would say that. And God, did it make me laugh. So yeah, Kirkland, like
you
yeah,
say my Kirkland Lamborghini is a Fiero running Ferrari parts?
yes. Kirkland olive oil, which is like $10 cheaper than the really good olive oil they sell, is the exact same olive oil. Straight up.
I like how I shouldn't have went down the Kirkland path here because I really want you to finish the 7-Eleven.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
true.
so I have the pizza. It's great. And now I'm like, oh, like I really like pizza. I have pizza all over. I know what's good. I know what's bad. And to me, at least,
Your hot take? Pizza
What?
sucks.
you hate pizza.
And it's mean.
Pizza is
Yeah.
mean, but then all of a sudden, like it's got to be like 6 months into them having pizza, and they go to the mini pizzas, and they don't cook them long enough. They're these soggy little messes, and it was like you're just getting into the food industry, and you're gonna have something that hits, and then take it away. And I was just disappointed. And buddy, I'll tell you, I was diametrically opposed to getting pizza or food from 7-Eleven, and that pizza was fantastic right off the bat. It just was.
I eat a lot of
And
gas
now it
station
sucks.
sushi,
and
and I'm
this
not
is the guy
embarrassed.
who doesn't like poutine or donair.
Yeah.
So I don't like. What do we think? What do we think as Chalmers is a food critic? He's an anti-donair, poutine, 7-Eleven pizza eater.
Okay, but here we go. So when I order pizza for the family, we go to places that are, off the beaten path. And this weekend, when we were in Jasper, we went to Jasper Pizza. The pizza was great, but to me, it was too floppy. You know what I mean? Tasted amazing, but the experience of eating it. So I'm very particular in these stupid little ways. Donairs.
Because you're used to eating 7-Eleven cardboards. Everything's
Exactly, yeah.
floppy.
The
when you
way
be
I
eating that
feel
garbage.
5 hours after eating a donair is about 75% of why I hate donairs.
Maybe you're
because of the-
remembering
You're
all
eating
the.
too big a donair. We had a regular cheese donair
No.
for lunch.
You don't need
and
to go big wood.
I haven't skipped a beat.
No, like when you burp up that, I didn't like the half, whatever.
Quads did offer me a piece of gum about 5 minutes after consuming. it.
Yeah, for
While we're
sure
in
he
my
did.
office. So you're not wrong with that.
I've had 2 energy drinks since that donair, and like just finding like a nice balance.
But
of,
don't
like,
blame the
chilling out.
donair. You're up till 9 in the
Maybe you're
morning.
not drinking strong enough energy
Faber
drinks.
watches. So Faber watches the European leagues for prospects. So he watches TV all
Wow.
hours of the night.
Sounds fun.
Info.
Wow.
Also, you want another fun fact, Wanye? So they're staying in Suite 97 in the Umberville. Building.
Oh,
They are a customer. They're going to leave a great review. Please do.
Fantastic. Please do.
So part of the reason of the delay of us launching the suites was supply chain. We ordered a bunch of shit like 12 months ago, 18 months ago. And when we were ready to open, say in like October, none of the stuff was here. So we made the decision in December to just get couches, temporary couches from somewhere else. So we borrowed them from a realtor friend of ours who does staging. They're all our staging couches, and they're beautiful couches. But we needed to, because like everything was finally in them except for these couches. And these couches have a hide-a-bed in them. So the couches I think we've had now for maybe 3 weeks or so. And we've had guests come in and they've been staying there, but they've only been like individual or couples that have been staying in the suites. So Faber and Quads are staying in one suite. And so one bed, one hide-a-bed. Well, this couch is brand new. So these guys at like 1:30 in the morning are trying to figure out how to pull out the pull-out couch or the pull-out bed, just Faber,
in the
but
bedroom.
all the zip ties and everything from it being new and like shipped.
Oh
holding it down.
no!
So they were struggling last night to figure out how to unveil the bed from the couch.
She's brand new, boys. Sorry about that.
So I was yanking it like Quads. I were trying
I'd
to
lose
figure
my
out first.
shit.
And then
End of the day.
I'm laying on the couch. And I'm like, okay, I'm too tall for the couch. Like my leg is like hanging up. I'm like,
I'd be like, Quads, I'm coming in. I hope you're wearing Ginch. We're going 50-50 on your bed.
The worst part, like when I finally got underneath of it, I was like, oh, look at these zap straps. I got it ripped up here. So I got to cut these apart because it says it. There's like a big piece of paper that says cut this before opening. Like, God, we're dumb. So I get underneath this thing and I have to like balance the whole weight of the couch like on my knee to like, as you would like jack up a car to hold up the couch to get underneath. So I got this couch on my knee. It's 1:30 in the morning. I'm like slicing it with a steak knife because the scissors that are in there's like two small scissors, not like a big cardboard cutting one. So I had to use a steak knife underneath.
Please don't mention any of this in your Google review.
This will be the 5-star part. It's like once I figured it
5
out,
stars
I'm so
though.
happy.
It's pretty good though. Otherwise, right?
Oh, it's fantastic.
great.
No, it's
Here's
a
awesome.
funny story.
But
Is
the
all.
worst
No, I know.
This
I
is
just want the
even the worst
listeners
part
to hear
here,
that, Jay. I just want to tell the other half.
I think it's funny.
It's 10
I
out of
didn't
10.
want to wake up Quads either, so he's sleeping in. He has all the blankets and sheets and everything are in his room.
Oh,
I
Quads,
on
you
a
have the whole world by the
mattress
tail.
last night, where like my legs are sticking to the mattress. So, now we got a sheet on there. Things are getting better.
Everything that was supposed to be there was there, as we like to deliver on the experience. It's just the zip ties won the night.
And I woke up in the morning to text from Faber at 1:40, said, "Hey, are you awake? I could really use some help." And then,
What is he propositioning?
And then 20 minutes later, he's like, "Never mind, I've got it. I took care of it."
Oh no.
I'm like, I thought he needed help like spelling something or like figuring something out for an article that he was working on. So
I
I
got
was
all
spelling
go
something.
outside and cool down. I was working so hard.
I'd be like, you text me, are you up after 1:30 in the morning? We're gonna have hands.
anyways, so I woke up and that's what I found out. I found that this had all happened while I was peacefully sleeping. It was great though. Like I like our arrangement. I got the bedroom, he's got the couch, it works fine.
And now the couch is great.
Now the couch is perfect.
You set it up for us. Thank you.
Yeah, it's all good to go, guys.
I blame the supply chain, but
We walked so that all of the future guests could run.
exactly.
Yeah.
Isn't that the truth?
Exactly.
Never has to be cut open once, only once.
Only once.
So-
So it's all forever. She's purring like a kitten now.
Yep.
I love it up there. I think those things are beautiful. I hope you have a great stay. Are they the first ones to stay in?
No.
Yeah.
We've been renting them out since mid-December.
Mid-December. You like how one's 99 and one's 97, boys?
I love the pictures outside.
Yeah, the
It's-
pictures.
We love hockey here in Edmonton.
That's
Boy,
awesome.
howdy.
Yeah.
No, they're cool. Everyone who stayed in them so far has left great reviews. So
Well, it
that's
smells
that's
like
good.
bread, too. Just the like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can order up baked goods, hey?
We literally
You guys know
piped
this?
in the bakery venting into the rooms.
That's good.
Yeah.
Outside your room, boys. Outside your room is a tray. And if you
Yes.
put a little check mark on there with the whiteboard pen, you get baked goods delivered to your door free in the morning from the bakery.
Yeah. We did
That's
that.
the
today.
boss.
It's an experience.
You
Yeah.
can't do that at the bloody Fairmont Hotel McDonald. You can only do that there. That's for gangsters only.
I
Yeah.
stayed in a hotel last time I was here, and I must say this is a lot better.
Well, they came. They got dropped off at Dog Patch. We came. We watched the game. Had the nacho burger, which was
Ooh.
dynamite,
Interesting.
and a beer promotion. So that was good. And then
Nacho burger.
Their commute involved going up an elevator 2 flights and staying in their suites.
Unbelievable.
And then their commute in the morning involved going 1 floor down an elevator to the office.
Yeah.
How about that, eh, boys? How about an office with a hotel in it?
It was great.
They won't set foot and see one lick of Edmonton. It's just going to be all in this. We got them contained in this building.
Vertically.
I don't want to interrupt your guys' infomercial for the dog patch.
Oh,
and the building and the Airbnb.
And the building.
And the
bakery. But I'm looking at the clock here, and I know we're getting to the end of this thing, and we haven't even talked about what I wanted to talk about with ending this podcast.
Do we need to do an ad?
No. Yeah, do an ad first because it's sponsored now, right?
Well, I shouted out our friends at DoorDash. Ding dong.
Yeah.
Ding dong.
Use code RealLife for 25% off your first order and no delivery fees. Order Oodle Noodle. Order Buster's Pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Order any Donair, to be honest, but an Edmonton Donair. Do not DoorDash a Donair from Vancouver because it's going to have.
Can I order Twig and Berries on DoorDash?
You know what? Well, you can order PetSmart on DoorDash.
Yeah, I saw that.
So if you need to feed your dog, if you're getting a Donair for yourself and you want to get a little doggy treat Donair, you can do that.
That's something for the dog, man.
PetSmart deal. I got one time I was on DoorDash and it just said $20 of free stuff. There was no anything else. I ordered $21 worth of dog toys. I paid $1.
Oh, amazing.
Do you have a dog?
I don't know. I maybe screwed DoorDash.
Do you have a dog though, Faber?
Yeah, I got a little dog.
Okay, that makes more sense. I didn't know if you had a dog or not.
No, I mean it's just a good deal anyways. You just pay it $1.
Yeah, you're like, fuck, I don't need a dog to get free dog toys.
Well, and not to shamelessly plug our bakery, but to shamelessly plug our bakery. We're now selling and making our own dog treats. Wow. And I read the ingredients.
Really?
And they are appetizing to the humans as well. I'm probably going to share one with Hot Dog here later tonight. So I picked some up and I'm taking them home.
If you take a photo with Hot Dog and our dog treats and tag the bakery, I know a little Instagram guy who would re-grab it because it's me.
Hot Dog is a fame whore. So yeah, we will get that done. Hot Dog, also stay tuned to Instagram at some point. I don't know which channel it's going to be involved because I don't know which entity is going to get a part of this, but Hot Dog is entering a dash hound race contest.
Yes.
This is a proud father moment. I've got to do some training video content with him and get him ready. I feel like our little man can bring home the W.
Wow. Sanctioned event or bootleg?
It's actually being held by the Edmonton Humane Society.
Sanctioned.
We're going to come in and sponsor the beer gardens with Nation Beer in Dog Island. We're going to get them a bunch of product to help them raise some money. And Hot Dog is going to enter the Dash Hound race at that event. It's in June, so he's got a few months to train. It's a little too cold for him right now. He's being a little sis.
Just make sure when you do the race that when you're putting it on Instagram, you definitely add the hashtag Proud Dad Moment and Proud Dog Dad because
hashtag the bakery too, Jay. We'll sponsor
What
Hot
a
Dog.
Goof. What a goof.
Oh, yeah.
You're a dog owner, not a dad.
I'm trying. I was literally on Etsy today. This is how
own the dog.
I'm getting to this.
You didn't have the dog.
A little Dash
own
Hound workout outfit.
You didn't have it. You own it. You didn't have it.
Didn't have what?
You're the owner of the dog, not the dad of the dog. You are his owner. You didn't have the dog. You got the dog.
You adopted it.
I'm about to have a kid and I'm not having it.
Oh, he got you there.
I think you did a little bit more than you did to get Hot Dog.
You're buying a dog. You're buying a human
11 hours to southern Saskatchewan to get Hot Dog.
Oh, I thought you were going
to take 11 hours to get this thing.
You going to pick the baby up at a farm, Jay?
Maybe the combined time it took 11 hours in total. Maybe if you
add
them all together.
A lot of credit to pick up a baby.
All right, are we fucking done? Okay, listen. Everybody, hey Waz, do you remember what button it was for the dream sequence?
Bottom right.
Oh yeah,
hit it. It's that time of year again, everybody. Every couple years, we get blessed with an event that I know every single one of us loves. And this year, it came with little fanfare. Nobody's heard about it. But it is Olympic time. It is starting tomorrow. And I have been doing my Olympic previews. And today, I don't have a singular athlete that I'm going to be previewing. But I am going to do the Olympics on a whole. I'm going to help you because if you're like me, when you get home at night or after work, your TV immediately goes to something. Mine goes to Sports Center or a hockey game that's on. We all have these things that are just built into our daily routine. And for 1 month every 2 years, mine goes to the Olympics, no questions asked. I never quite know what's live, especially when it's in a time zone like Beijing, which for everybody is
doesn't matter at that point. That's the beauty.
Right. But just for clarification's sake, it is 15 hours ahead of us. Okay. So to give you that kind of idea of what's happening is
quick math, Chalmers. What time is it there right now?
Right now, it is 5:30 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning. I think it's 6:30 in the morning.
Less than what it is. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think fucking Chalmers on it.
Okay. So just to give you clarification that this morning at 4:20 a.m. Friday, February 4th, the opening ceremony start, which is actually 7:20 p.m. Friday evening there, 15 hours ahead. So basically what we're going to be seeing on our live coverage, if you get home from work like me and you immediately turn it on, you're going to be seeing the events from the day before. Because if you're watching things live, so for instance, like live coverage of things tomorrow are...
They're showing the Olympics from Lillehammer as live footage.
I know.
Right. So like at 8:35,
women's team Canada played last night or whatever. Last night's a relevant
right.
term.
So tomorrow morning, February 4th, in like when they wake up this morning in China, they will be at 8:35. There's a mixed double round robin. To us, that is actually happening Friday evening at 5:35. Okay. So the things that happen first thing in the morning the next day are things live for us the day before. The only reason I tell you that is because there's some exciting stuff happening right off the bat. There's medals.
There's a few things that have kicked off already that I've got some insight on.
There is women's. Well, what I'm excited about is the fact that we've got medaling for speed skating for the first 4 days. We've got medaling in short track speed skating, long track speed skating. But the freestyle skiing starts on so that was training.
That was qualifying, wasn't it?
Qualifying. And then they go into the medals. But
and Michael Kingsbury dropped an absolute dime on that mountain.
Yeah, that was my first Olympic preview, boys, for you, those of you that don't know. But anyways, I have the fever. My life changes for like this amount of time. And it's so weird how that happens for me because like everything will be Olympics for the next 3 weeks, 2 weeks, whatever it is. Every time I come home, I'll be fighting to find out. So I don't know. Are you guys like me? Do you even give a shit? Doesn't seem like any of you really care.
Oh, I care immensely.
So fuck me, right?
Nobody knows more about the Winter Olympics than Jay Downton. I will say that in your defense, Jay.
So what are you excited about for right now, JR?
Nobody.
Like,
I'm just, you know what I need to do? Because normally, especially when you're at a different time zone, I love watching the because it's not like I'm like on my phone for Olympics news. I like to like watch, like lay in bed for like 2 hours before I go to sleep and just watch all of like either the recaps or pre-recorded events. And that's where that's how I like to consume it. Now, I don't have a TV in my bedroom right now, so I've got to either change that or just spend more time on the basement couch. But I got to get into it because I didn't know they started already. I'm pissed I missed Michael Kingsbury's first run because, like, if you saw it, it was flawless. His jumps were like his 2 feet did not move a millimeter while he was doing all those spins. So that was good to see. Little rattled at the mixed curling we fell in the first game, but there's a long road ahead there, so I still believe in that.
Hold on. Mixed curling?
Yeah, it's mixed doubles curling.
Humans and animals?
2 people. So if you ever
boys and girls.
So like mixed 2-person curling is actually intense.
Is it just one sweeping?
One sweeping, and then the other one will like zip up if they really and sweep too. So like there is like you get a home run on those two. Like they're buzzing.
I mean, so we did lose to Great Britain 6-4 in mixed doubles.
Exactly.
But
are there fans or nobody in the crowd? No one in the crowd?
We beat one of the top teams in Norway 7-6. So we are 1-1 right now.
Oh, we're 1-1. Okay. So yeah, you're ahead of me now. Norway can be a powerhouse in the format in the 4-person. I guess I know the men's team's been good. I can't remember how the women's team's been. Women, they're good. Scotland's good. But for us to lose to Great Britain's a non-event in curling. I'm sorry.
So just so we're clear on the qualification of the men's skiing, the men's moguls.
Yeah.
Michael Kingsbury scored an 81.15. In second place was a 79.12. And then everybody else is 78 and under and not even really that close. So
did you say Michael Tewksbury?
Michael Kingsbury.
Oh, that's a different Olympian.
That's Summer Olympics.
Yeah. Unfortunately, our other Canadians didn't fare so well in it. Let's put it that way. But hey, there's lots going on and I love it. And so when you go to watch at night, do you focus in on the NBC feeds or do you go to the CBC feed?
I bounce around and it's the event that they're showing is the channel I'll watch. But there's really not one event I won't watch. But if I have the choice between two, I will play favorites.
I only watch the Kazakhstani news, Chalmers, because I'm only interested in the one Kazakhstani long distance cross country skier. I can only cheer for your heroes, Chalmers. I can't go off board.
There was
in
hockey, aren't they?
There's a woman Kazakhstani women's mogul.
That's what I'm talking about, Chalmers.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
she didn't.
That's what I'm talking about.
Only one Canadian. Only one Canadian qualified, and in the last qualification of the women's moguls. That's
Have you ever watched the mixed skeleton, Chalmers, where they lay on top of each other, boy and girl, and then they go down on the skeleton on the ice track?
No, I've never heard
skeleton.
of that one.
You never watched that one? That's my favorite event. You never watch it? You love the Olympics and you don't watch mixed skeleton.
No, I only watch luge.
Mixed luge?
I know. I'm just so close-minded. Hey,
imagine mixed bobsled and they could kiss.
What the hell are you talking about?
The Winter Olympics, Chalmers.
Ski jumping. Let's see what happened in the our guys in the ski jumping did not do good in the qualifier.
No, we're not ski jumpers. We're not ski jumpers. Anyways, Chalmers, hell of a segment. We got to wrap this up. Quads and Faber and I have some work to do.
They're bored. They're bored. I can tell by our Olympics talk. But hey,
they were too young for the Vancouver Olympics. Quads was like 7 and Faber might have been 11.
Hey, who's getting which Canadian city's getting the Olympics again?
Vancouver.
In the next
2030 Vancouver, apparently. Nobody in Vancouver wants it. Like there are very few people in Vancouver that want the Olympics back.
Really? Because you guys are all so sad by your rainy days in December, huh? What's wrong with the Olympics?
It was a struggle to get all that snow up to Whistler
there was
last
snow
time.
problems. It was like,
oh, come on. Whistler's got tons of snow.
What do you have to make the snow? What do you care? Congratulations on all your success, boys. You guys are doing really awesome out there. We're really proud to work with you.
Thank you. We like working with you guys too.
All right. Well, I guess that is it for episode 3 something of Nation Real Life. Hit a button.
Orange.
Any button.
Top right.
Hit a button.
Where's that lady's voice?
It was all a dream.
Of the Real Life Podcast. Don't want to miss any of our nonsense? Hit the subscribe button and give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram.